Helen Flanagan, the well-known actress who rose to fame through her long-running role on a popular British soap opera, has recently shared deeply personal insights into a period of inner turmoil she experienced while participating in a celebrity dating reality series. At the age of 35, she opened up about the genuine confusion she felt regarding her sexuality during the filming process. This revelation came as part of broader disclosures in her autobiography, a book that delves into various aspects of her life including breakups, mental health struggles and personal growth. During her time on the show, which aired in 2024, Helen found herself reflecting on questions about her attractions and identity in ways she had not fully articulated before. She engaged in conversations on camera where she explored these thoughts openly with the production team and perhaps even with the dating experts or fellow participants. However, once the reality of having those intimate discussions broadcast to a national audience sank in, she experienced significant emotional distress. The idea of her family, particularly her mother, seeing that side of her publicly caused her immense worry and sadness. She described feeling as though she might deeply disappoint her mum, whom she holds in high regard and with whom she shares a close bond. This fear stemmed from a sense of vulnerability and concern that airing such personal explorations could be misinterpreted or lead to judgment from loved ones. In response to these overwhelming feelings, Helen took the proactive step of approaching the show's producers. She requested that the specific scenes where she discussed her sexuality be removed entirely. Fortunately, the team was understanding and supportive. They collaborated with her carefully to edit out those portions, ensuring they were completely excised from the final episodes. This act of sensitivity from the production side allowed Helen to feel protected and respected in a moment when she was grappling with depression triggered by the potential exposure. She has expressed gratitude for how the matter was handled, noting that it prevented what could have been a very public and potentially harmful revelation at a time when she was not ready for it. This episode on the dating show was already eventful for other reasons. Helen caused considerable drama among viewers and castmates when she admitted to having a boyfriend waiting at home, despite the premise of the program requiring participants to be single and genuinely seeking connections. She confessed her feelings for this man, describing how she believed she was in love with him. This revelation shocked the experts, who felt it undermined the integrity of the process. One of the love gurus commented in a confessional segment that Helen had not only wasted the agency's time but also the time of all the dates she had gone on. There was serious discussion about whether she should be asked to leave the show due to withholding this information. Despite the tension, Helen expressed a desire to remain involved in some capacity, perhaps to benefit from the therapeutic aspects of the experience rather than continuing to date. She explained that while she could not participate in romantic outings anymore, she valued the self-reflection and support the agency provided. Ultimately, her relationship with the man in question, former non-league footballer Robbie Talbot, who is 45, progressed after the show. This came following her separation from her ex-fiancé, a professional footballer named Scott Sinclair, who is 36. Helen and Scott share 3 young children, a daughter named Matilda who is 9, another daughter Delilah who is 6, and a son Charlie who is 4. The split from Scott in 2022 had been challenging, and entering a new relationship marked a significant chapter for her. In her book, Helen reflects further on the panic she felt during filming, particularly around how her discussions of sexuality might affect her family dynamics. She reiterated the depression that set in when contemplating the footage airing, emphasizing her fear of letting her mother down as a daughter. Pictures from around that time show her with her mum Julia, highlighting the importance of that relationship in her life. The decision to cut the scenes was thus not just about privacy but about preserving familial harmony and her own mental well-being during a vulnerable period. Adding layers to her personal story, Helen has also recently discussed a past romantic entanglement described as a throuple, involving former heavyweight boxer David Haye and another woman named Sion Osborne, who is 45. This connection began after a long hiatus. They first met on a reality survival show back in 2012 but reconnected a decade later at an awards event in late 2022. David reached out following Helen's lingerie photo shoot for a well-known brand. The dynamic was intense but ultimately short-lived, and Helen has been candid about its complexities in her writing. Reports from around that time suggested tensions, including Helen allegedly urging David to end things with Sion to be exclusively with her, though David remained committed to Sion. This chapter underscores Helen's pattern of navigating complicated emotional landscapes in her relationships. More recently, Helen and Robbie's relationship ended in May 2025, roughly a year after they made it official. This breakup added another layer to her reflections on love, identity, and public scrutiny. Throughout these experiences, Helen has shown resilience in addressing mental health challenges, including her diagnoses of obsessive-compulsive disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and premenstrual dysphoric disorder. She has credited therapy, family support, and self-awareness for helping her through difficult times.